Good evening and welcome to the Hibs Observer post-match debrief with myself, Liam Bryce, joined by Patrick McPartlin, live from Easter Road to react to Hibs 1, Kilmarnock 0. David Gray's side making it 4 wins on the bounce in the Scottish Premiership. Patrick, hello.
Hello.
How was that?
I'll be honest with you, it wasn't pretty.
It didn't look it.
It won't be up there as the best games of football I've seen this season. But it was 3 points for Hibs. It was a ground out performance, and most importantly, they followed up an important win on Boxing Day in the derby with a hard fought win today, which was if any criticism has been levelled at Hibs in recent seasons, it's been that they struggled to follow up good results with another good result. So, they got there by the skin of the teeth today. There was a lot of dogged defending. They ended the game with one recognised centre-half and a back three. But, all that matters is Nectar Triantis' first goal for the club. Header from Nicky Cadden's corner in the first half. Powerful header past Robbie McCrory in the Kilmarnock goal. And that was really all the chances to speak of, really. Junior Hoyle had a couple of... I think we'll kindly call them half chances before that. One of them was a bit of a sitter, which I think he would appreciate himself. But apart from that, not an awful lot to talk about in terms of goalmouth action. This is two teams who've been playing a lot of football recently. You could see it in the legs, you could see it in some of the passing and some of the running. But it's 3 points and it's a results business. That's what matters, and that's 4 wins on the trot for the first time since October 2022, and I think some other results probably going Hibs' way today. So, all in all, like a decent afternoon at the office.
A decent day's work. I think we were our preview show. We were talking about how it's probably just all about getting the 3 points at this time of the year. Yes. Obviously, the derby and everything's a bit different. That takes care of itself. But then you've got another game coming up so quickly afterwards. There's got to be a kind of what do they call it? I'm going to throw out a massive cliche, but it's sort of emotional hangover of a derby. I think just getting over the line in these games, getting 3 points on the board and just forgetting about it is probably what most fans would have hoped for today. But I'm just kind of having a quick look at the stats. Hibs do, as you say, there wasn't a great deal of excitement in the game, but Hibs 1.95 expected goals to Kilmarnock 0.12. Hibs only 2 shots on target, but 3 big chances. Kilmarnock no big chances. It was still well worth the win. I think Hibs, despite not sparkling, but I think it's just that stat you've thrown out there. 4 wins on the bounce for the first time since October 2022. So it just tells you that these kind of winning runs, however you get them, they can't be taken for granted, can they?
They can, and we look at teams that win leagues, not just in Scotland but around the world, and the main sort of thing for them is, can they win when they're not at their best? Can they get the 3 points in the face of adversity? And more often than not, you say yes, they can. And Hibs we know how Hibs have struggled this season. If this game had been played a few weeks back, I'm not really sure Hibs would have been odds on to win. You talk about the stats there. It was hard fought. It was a bit of a battle at times, but it was probably about as comfortable as 1-0 wins go. Kilmarnock didn't really sort of threaten Jordan Smith all that much. He didn't have an awful lot to do. The team defended really well from the front. I described it in the post-match analysis that I did on our website, which you can read now, that it was a patched-up Hibs, and it was, because Noelle Yuan is missing after picking up a knock in the derby. You've got 4 long-term absentees out in Kieran Bowie, Rudy Milotnikov, Marvin Ekpateta, and Nikola Kurevic. Joe Newell went off at half-time. Jack Iredale followed him shortly afterwards. So it was very much a case of a patched-up Hibs, but we talked before about that team spirit, which really seemed to be evident in huge amounts today. People throwing themselves in front of balls and sort of chasing lost causes at times, just trying to get a foot in. Kwon coming on for Joe Newell at half time. He looked a little bit rusty. He's not played a lot of football. He got a booking for a sort of bit of a clumsy challenge, but he played his part as well. Just getting his foot on the ball at times, clearing the danger, and the sort of makeshift back 3, back 5, whatever you want to call it. Also, put in some good tackles to kind of ultimately frustrate Kilmarnock, who didn't really have an awful lot. I don't think they could have too many complaints, to be honest. The red card might have been a little bit harsh. And you know, a couple of times that they maybe tried to get in behind the Hibs defence, but there was always a covering defender. You know, we'll sort of pop down to the media room shortly, and we'll see what both managers have to say. But I think it's, you know, at the end of the day, as you mentioned there, it was about trying to get you know, 3 points at the end of a hard week. So, you know, 4 wins on the bounce, impressive. But I think, you know, 3 wins in what has been a difficult week, trips to Aberdeen, trips to Hearts, you're missing sort of, you know, key first team players as well. So to, you know, to sort of stand up against that and still get the 3 points today, you know, by hook or by crook was, you know, I think a sign of how far the Hibs team has come. And, you know, David Gray can take a lot of credit for the way he's sort of turned things around. The players deserve a lot of credit. I think, you know, looking at the bench today, there wasn't an awful lot on there. You could probably have picked out before the match started who was going to be coming on. You know, if you did need to make changes, and you know, it was, you know, it was a case of sort of like trying not to make changes unless absolutely necessary. This is obviously another game coming up in Perth against Johnston on Thursday, and you know, David Gray needs to have as many players fit for that as well, because you know, this obviously is about trying to turn the season around, and it's, you know, trying to get back up the table, trying to sort of fulfill the side's ambitions. And you know, the only way to do that is by getting results. And you know, we talked about them winning the derby, we talked about them coming into this game and needing to get 3 points again. They need to follow up this hard-fought win with another 3 points on Thursday. So you know, that's the sort of the next task for David Gray and his players. The texts don't stop coming.
No, they don't. And just kind of on that note, we're another game coming up away to St Johnstone on the 2nd, and then I believe home to Rangers on the 5th. Is maybe the only concern coming out of today that injuries are starting to mount up a wee bit? Obviously, we don't know the extent of the issues that the guys have picked up today. We'll hear more from David Gray on that very shortly. But they are kind of accumulating a wee bit, aren't they?
They are, and I mean, this is a big Hibs squad. We've talked about this before, but it's whether or not the players who are not currently playing and who are fit are good enough to come in and replace those who are maybe struggling with knocks and injuries. I mean, David Gray said before the game that he's hopeful that Ellie Yuan's injury won't keep him out for too long. In terms of the other 4 missing players, we know Kieran Bowie's desperate to get back. Warren O'Hora was an unused substitute today. He's been sort of dealing with an ankle issue in recent weeks, and I think with Lewis Miller also dealing with injury and sort of coming back to full fitness, he was played over O'Hora just to kind of give him a bit of a break. But
yeah,
you look at the injuries today. I mean, it could be little things like cramp. It could be little things, you know, just little knocks and niggles from playing a lot of football inside 7 days. But you know, that I suppose is that is the real sort of question at the moment, is from the players who are going to be available, are they good enough to continue what's gone before them? And you know, I get the feeling certainly from today and from previous games that there has been a few cases of David Gray asking players to play through the pain barrier, or you know, take the injections and just play as much as they can, you know, just to kind of help out. And you know, that being the case, it's all the more impressive that they have managed to get these 4 wins on the bounce. But yeah, I think it will be an anxious time for the coaching staff as they wait to see the extent of you know, any knocks and niggles picked up today. And you know, it's 4 days until the next game, but you know, that'll seem like no time at all, you know, for the coaching staff and the physio team. So hopefully just precautions more than anything else today. But I get the feeling it could be another patched up Hibs side just put out in Perth on Thursday.
Yeah, it could well be. Well, all credit to David Gray and the players for continuing to grind through this period and continuing to pick up results. Another win on the board for Hibs today, and as you said, results elsewhere. They won't be too disappointed with those either. So another good day all at the office for Hibs and David Gray. We're going to leave it there, folks. Patrick's about to nip down to the media room to speak to David Gray. We'll get updates on the players who came off injuries, maybe even some of those who are working their way back to fitness. If you're watching us on YouTube, please do consider hitting that subscribe button if you haven't as yet. We're continuing to grow the channel, which means we can continue to bring you these videos, and you'll also get notified when we go live, for example, you know, like right after the game as we do today. So thank you, folks. I hope you enjoyed the game today, and if you're heading to Perth in a few days' time, we'll be back to cover that as always. So enjoy the rest of your evening, folks, and we'll speak to you again very, very soon. Cheers.
Cheers.